wanted to share a story with you. When we talk about perception, I wanted to share this with you to give you an idea just how deep the rabbit hole goes when we talk about perception. This image here is an image of a place called the Ouray Ice Park in Colorado. Ouray is a small town that has a canyon just outside of town with a water pipe that runs along the canyon's edge, and about 15 years ago a couple of climbers were walking by it, saw that it had sprung a leak and put a column of frozen water down into the canyon floor. So being ice climbers, they figured, hey, that's awesome, we'll climb that. They got back and figured, why don't we just punch holes right along the side of the thing, and hence they created the Ouray Ice Climbing Park. Every January they have the Ouray Ice Climbing Festival, and Margot and I go down each year to be part of this ice climbing festival, and we climb frozen waterfalls for the weekend. This year gone, we figured let's do this properly. Instead of just spending the weekend, let's spend the entire week there. We'll rent a cabin for a week and a half. We'll rent a cabin for 10 days, and we'll really get amongst this, and we'll do this properly. So we head down there, and on day 2, I'm climbing up over out of the canyon. You can see the steep walls there. I'm climbing up over the canyon, and I feel something pull in my right arm, and it didn't feel good. And I figured, you know what, if this goes the way that I think it'll going to go, this is probably not an ice climbing vacation anymore. And the next morning I woke up, the arm was all swollen up, and I was done. Pulled a tendon. I'm a glass half full kind of guy. I figured, you know what? This is now a hot springs vacation. Now, Ouray, Colorado, or this part of Colorado, is home to some of the best hot springs on the planet, and one of my favourite is this one, hot springs called Orvis. Now, the reason that we're looking at the view from the parking lot is that Orvis is a clothing optional hot springs, and I didn't want to be the guy in there with a camera, right? So that's why we get to see the view from the parking lot only. Thing with Orvis, I've been there tons of times before, and the trick is to get down to the main pool, you need to drop down about 6 steps. You ever seen anybody go downstairs in a wheelchair? Nope. You're not going to this morning for reasons that will become obvious. I started heading down to the main pool. This is how you basically get up on the back wheels and you pop down 1 step at a time, and what you really don't want to happen is the front wheels to go down. Right? So there's a level of commitment going on here. Oh yeah. So I start popping down these steps. I've put 4 behind me. I get 2 more to go, and all of a sudden I get this horrible, horrible sinking feeling. Because what's happened, because it's January and it's winter, I've got gloves on, and a piece of my glove has just got caught between the rim and the push rim of my chair. And next thing you know, I'm balancing like this, and there's only one way to go, and that's down. Instinctively, I knew that this arm was still injured, so I didn't want to put it out. By the time I unsnapped this one from where it was caught and got it out, I didn't get my fingers straightened out properly. We cut to a horrible cracking sound. Next thing you know, I got 2 broken fingers on this hand. Pulled tendon on this hand. At this point, things started to get really interesting. For the next 8 days, I barely left the cabin, but boy, did I discover a couple of things. I discovered that you can actually get up into bed off the floor using just your elbows. Right? Who knew? I didn't. I discovered that you can brush your teeth by just holding a toothbrush straight there in front of you and just moving your head from side to side. Right again, I mean, who knew? I'm all about the learning, and boy, was there some learning going on. But where it got really interesting was on about day 6 or 7, I turned to Margot and I said, I know this is going to sound really weird, bizarre even, but I'm feeling pretty disabled right about now. How is it that a guy with no legs only becomes disabled when he loses the use of his arms? How the hell does that happen? Perception. That's how deep the rabbit hole goes. I wasn't kidding you when I said that I don't see myself as disabled, right? What are we limiting ourselves? How are we limiting ourselves by the way we see things? It's a constant question for me, and I dare say that it should be a constant question for you.